This is the CBC Morning Report for today, Monday, August 14th. I'm Tisha Hines. Good morning. In our top story, government will undertake a study to determine which occupations can go longer. But Minister of Labour, Social Security and Third Sector Colin Jordan says it has to be done carefully. He was at the time responding to a caller in last night's TV current affairs program, The People's Business, which was looking at NIS securing the future. The caller queried why the age of the police becoming pensionable is longer than for the Army. Minister Jordan says while there's control over the age for pension, there's none for retirement.
On the Friday that I made the ministerial statement, a gentleman said to us something very similar. As a matter of fact, he said he is not planning to retire at all. But what we had to remind is that we do not have a national retirement age. We have a pensionable age. And so a person is free to work for as long as a person believes that they can make that contribution or desires to make that contribution. So on the retirement side, there's no retirement age, but there's a pensionable age that recognizes that at some point, a former worker, needs to be provided for after contributing over the years to the building of the society. We have a declining population, a declining workforce, and that is the primary driver of the challenges that are ahead of us if we fail to act. So we have to recognize that, and we deal with the reality that poses to us. The second thing I want to say is that national insurance is about social security. It is about all of us coming together. This is the Bayesian way. This goes back to the Susu and the Mitten term. It also informs how we deal with education, for example. Everybody pays taxes so that we can educate the nation's children. If you have enough money to send your children to university in Canada or England, you can go ahead, but your taxes help to support the education of those who don't have that luxury.
Okay.
We do the same thing with healthcare. And we just want to say all of us are in this together. All of us need to pay. All of us need to contribute. Employers, employees, self-employed, all of us need to be part of the solution. And the final thing, which is the third, so more than a couple, early action is always preferable. Early action. Let us not, as a people, decide to wait until we have to take, until the country has to take any drastic action. I appeal to all of us, let's recognize dealing with these matters early means that any potential pain is minimized.
Chief Executive Officer of the scheme, Kim Tudor, says the revitalization of the fund is key, and one area they have been beefing up is that of compliance.
We use all the measures at our disposal to go after defaulters, so we take it very seriously. We have stepped up our efforts in terms of compliance, because we know compliance is going to be very important in playing its role in the sustainability of the fund. So we have certainly stepped up our efforts. Since last year, we have done two consultancies. One was internal, where we got staff, the inspectors, and other persons who work in compliance to kind of review our processes and so forth and procedures to see how we can improve these processes and procedures in an attempt to ensure that that we are increasing our compliance. We also got an external consultant, and their reports are due anytime now. And together with these two reports, we will begin to enhance and increase and enlarge our compliance measures.
Ms. Tudor also revealed that they undertook the consultancies to deal with those employers who owe the NIS.
We have increased the requirements for clearance certificates. So you'll see that persons who have to buy land or sell land, and we are holding a judgment on their properties, they require a clearance certificate. So you'll see more of that kind of compliance with clearance certificates. we have judgments. We have an entire legal department, and some of the work we also give to private lawyers, because we do go after employers, and we will put a charge on their property, and that charge comes into force, especially if they want to sell that property or mortgage that property or do any such thing. So we do pursue on a daily basis the legal remedies available to us with regard to compliance.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, the Hawaii Inferno is now the deadliest wildfire for the past 100 years in the U.S.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is...
People in the Hawaiian resort town of Lahaina, ravaged by a horrific inferno, have expressed anger as the death toll from the wildfires rose to 93 over the weekend, making it officially the deadliest U.S. wildfire in more than 100 years. Officials said the death toll might go up even further as search teams continue to sift through the ruins of the town located on Maui Island.
Saturday was the first time cadaver dogs were used to search through the ashes and rubble of Lahaina in search of human remains. Buildings were marked with a bright orange X when they were searched, and with the letters HR when human remains were found. The police chief said it was a slow process.
Just so you know, 3%, that's what's been searched with the dogs, 3%. We got 12 more dogs on the way today. We just made that, I made that request, FEMA made that happen, they're on their way. But think about how hot and how humid it is, and we can only go as fast as that animal can go. So we're bringing in more.
Once again, officials deflected questions on whether more could have been done to prepare for such a ferocious fire and whether warnings should have been issued before the flames engulfed the town.
There's a lot of energy you can spend on this tragedy right now. I think that time should be spent on recovery and rebuilding.
But it's now clear that reports have been issued since 2014 specifically about Lahaina's increasing vulnerability to wildfires. Not only that, authorities were alerted in 2020 about the possibility of the winds associated with a hurricane located hundreds of kilometers away from Hawaii acting as a catalyst for fire here. For a second day, plans to allow residents of Lahaina back in to assess the damage for themselves were subject to changes and confusion.
These are our belongings. This is what we were able to grab.
Lahaina resident Skip Scott said extra restrictions were imposed after some of those who'd made it back on Friday had entered devastated areas that authorities had cordoned off, desperate to see what was left.
There were a lot of residents that just wanted to see if their house was still standing and just to assess, you know, what they're going to do next. I mean, a lot of us are trying to make tough decisions, and whether or not your house is still standing or not is a big factor in that.
But it's these areas that are thought to contain yet more dead, and still over 1,000 residents remain missing.
Coup leaders in Niger say they are open to diplomacy to resolve a standoff with West Africa's regional bloc, according to a group of senior Nigerian Islamic scholars who've met the military leaders in the capital. The visit
A group of religious leaders from Nigeria did meet the military rulers, though, in the capital, Niamey. Now, they say the coup leader told them the doors are open to explore diplomacy and peace. The religious delegation has called for dialogue to end the crisis. From Katsina in neighbouring Nigeria, Al Jazeera's Ahmed Idris explains what the meeting achieved.
Well, the first sign of breakthrough was days before the summit of the Economic Community of West African States in the Nigerian capital, Abuja, when former central bank governor and former traditional ruler of Kano went to Niger to meet the military leaders there. Then there were conditions from the military leaders in Niger. They wanted the lifting of sanctions before they could start any talks. Then the religious leaders from Nigeria visited on Saturday, and they were able to meet the Prime Minister and General Chiani himself. Discussions, we understand, were fruitful, and the military administration in Niger Republic said they are willing to talk to the Economic Community of West African States if ECOWAS is willing to listen to them. We're not sure whether there were conditions laid before them, but we understand that currently Niger cannot approach ECOWAS directly simply because of the sanctions imposed on it and because of the suspension. This is what happens to any country that where unconstitutional means was used to overthrow an elected government. Cases like Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea. So this could be the first indication that this crisis in Niger Republic could be amicably resolved without having to resort to the use of force.
Joint operations by the Barbados Defence Force and police have been effective as part of the island's crime-fighting strategy, particularly as it relates to removing illegal guns from the streets. Chief of Staff Commodore Errington Sherland made the point as he delivered his report at the 44th anniversary service at the St. Matthias Anglican Church yesterday. CBC's Trevor Thorpe was there.
After the laying up of the old colours and the reception of the new, the Commodore, in a wide-ranging address, said the Barbados Defence Force has been making a valuable contribution to Barbados through its assistance to the police service.
In support of the constabulary, the Barbados Regiment conducted some 2,372 patrols, totaling some 12,529 man-hours. A total of 3 weapons and 80 rounds of ammunition were interdicted. Additionally, 13 persons were arrested and 2,568 illegal marijuana plants, as well as 28,041 pounds of vegetable matter was seized. These patrols act as an operational multiplier for the Barbados Police Service. This reinforcing effort has had a positive effect through the building of public confidence, deterring acts of crime, and overall on the level of gun crime.
The military official said the services of the BDF go beyond Barbados.
The Barbados Coast Guard conducted coordinated maritime patrols within the northern and southern sectors of the RSS's area of responsibility. Staying in the maritime domain, the Barbados conducted some 1,051 patrols, covering 8,893 nautical miles within Barbados's maritime space. 4 search and rescue operations were executed, and the maritime patrols resulted in the interdiction of 3,707 pounds of marijuana with an estimated street value of over 14 million Barbados dollars.
Commodore Sherland said joint operations with military partners have also been successful.
The unit also conducted joint operations with its law enforcement partners at the nation's maritime ports, which resulted in 641 pounds of marijuana valued at $2.5 million and 11 pounds of cocaine valued at over $72,000. Additionally, 10 weapons were seized. These joint operations led to 40 persons being arrested.
He added that as they look to the future, they are investing in the people as well.
The Barbados Defence Force Training Development Institute has a series of accredited academic courses in addition to customized courses such as military operations, seamanship operations, and fishing vessel operations at Level 3 CVQ. The TDI has been further accredited with Level 3 CVQ in paramedic studies, emergency medical technician studies, and perioperative surgical nurse studies. Through the Training Development Institute, the force will continue on the road to full accreditation over the next 2 years.
The establishment of cyber and drone units are also among the future plans for the Barbados Defence Force as it celebrates its 44th anniversary. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Thank you, Trevor. We'll be right back after this break.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity.
Well, coming up in just a little while on Morning Barbados, we're going to tell you all about the benefits of exercise to mental health as we sit down and speak with the CEO of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development. We also have a very special feature from the Barbados Museum and Historical Society. A beautiful project that they're putting on. Plus, we're also going to be telling you about Project Soft. And even more for young people, they're going to get a chance to participate in a program seeking to reduce the number of them gravitating toward delinquent behavior. This, as Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, Charles Griffith, has revealed plans to expand the National Community Cultural Training Program. The initiative, which has already touched over 500 youth across 25 communities, aims to engage them in wholesome activities while bringing communities together. Now, over the weekend, participants got to display their talents in song, dance, dramatic presentations, and even stick licking. A cultural showcase at the Queen's Park Steel Shed.
We're using satellite locations to ensure that persons in St. Lucie and persons in St. John who want to participate in cultural programs have an opportunity to do so. But I mentioned that this is breakfast because it is not a situation where we do a one-off and done. If there's a need for an advanced program, we will put measures in place to ensure that these youngsters go to the next stage. And for you parents who are here this evening to observe what is happening through our ministry, I want you to encourage your children or your wards to see this as a stepping stone for something that can be mushroomed into a money-making venture.
Minister Griffith confirmed the hope is to give performers other opportunities to be on stage through the staging of a concert this year and also during the National Independence Festival of Creative Arts, or NIFCA. It's also hoped that going forward, a number of community groups will be formed by participants. The Barbados Scouts at the recently concluded World Camp had an enjoyable experience despite having to overcome excessive heat, unfamiliar food, and other challenges. That was the assessment from Stephen Sobers, the contingent leader of the Barbadians who attended the 25th World Scouts Jamboree in South Korea. They returned to the island last evening to family and friends at the Grantley Adams International Airport. Mr. Sobers told CBC News about the experience, noting the boys learned much from the exercise.
First 2 days were a bit challenging for the contingent because of the heat, and a number of the activities weren't organized as yet. What we found is the boys enjoyed the experience, and it worked out well for us because we trained with the contingent from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we were able to work together attending activities and participating in what was able to be done at Jamboree.
Kim Bradshaw was among the parents who made up the welcoming committee at the airport.
It was, I won't say trying or challenging, a bit worrisome, but we knew before they left what to expect, especially with the heat. It's hot all over the world, but we did expect there to be some hot conditions down there. I prepared him, told him how to drink a lot of water, stay hydrated. He also took down the cooling gel and stuff for the sun, and they're from the tropics, so they managed well. They were true scouts in that form. We got a little more concerned, I guess, with the typhoon, but the plans were made for the evacuation early enough, and they were taken to another site. But all in all, glad to have them back, and I think they enjoyed themselves.
Good news. Chief Commissioner Trevor Jones says the boys adapted and overcame the hurdles they encountered, and generally they had fun.
I was in contact with the contingent on a daily basis, so from day one I was aware of what was going on, and I was making sure every day that our boys were enjoying themselves. As long as the contingent told me, yes, everybody's enjoying themselves, I was okay with what was going on, because that was the intention for them going there, to make full use of the opportunity and to enjoy themselves. And once they were doing that, everything else can play. These things happen at camps, and we're scouts. We are supposed to adapt, meet the challenges, and overcome. And they did that. So I am proud of them in that aspect.
The next Scouts Jamboree is scheduled for Poland in 2027. Now take a look at sports. Roberta with a four-way king with an unbeaten led the Windies to a series-winning victory over India in yesterday's 5th T20 International at Central Broward Regional Park Stadium Turk Ground in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. India batted first and posted 165 for 9. Yadav top scored with 61. That included 4 fours and 3 sixes. Player of the match, Shepard, took 4 for 31. Windies, in reply, blasted their way to 171 for 2 from 18 overs, with King making 85 not out, inclusive of 5 fours and 6 sixes. While player of the series, Puran, added 47. King and Puran added 107 for the second wicket. We have highlights.
Get it! Thank you!
First wicket! That's straight, that's straight. That's little too full. Terrific striking.
Western!
I'm satisfied that this is not a bump ball, and the catch is safely taken.
No doubt about this one. Oh, Surya picks up the full toss.
Inside out continues to be expensive. Smashed over his head. And again. This time he's taken. Huge shout. Not out, says umpire Gregory Brathwaite.
Original decision not out, impact in line, wickets hitting.
Clean them up. A huge shot from Nicholas Pura, an opportunity for a run out, misses.
Original decision not out, pitching outside off, impact in line, wickets hitting.
Straight to the fielder. India will end on 165 for 9. In there, and just like he did yesterday, gets him today. Smashes that one, Nicholas Puran. Goes again. Gets him again. Makes really good connection.
Yuzvendra Chahal. Greeted into the attack with a massive 6 of the bat of Brandon King to bring up the 50 for the West Indies.
What a way to resume the innings from Nicholas Puran. That's a monumental blow.
Is it a second ball wicket?
Down and over. More of them, King saving his best for last. Magnificent. A real boost and a tremendous shot in the arm, much needed for this West Indies T20 international team and West Indies cricket in general after the travails of the last 12 months across formats. It is a series win in the decider here in Florida.
The victory gave our boys the series 3-2 to record their second straight T20 International Series win and their first against India since 2017. Time to take a look at the weather. The barometric pressure stands at 1011.4 millibars. It's 28.4 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity stands at 78%, and the winds are blowing out of the east at 30 kilometers per hour. Present temperature fair with slight haze. Sea conditions for Barbados for today: smooth to moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1 to 2 meters and increasing. And here's a look at how the tides roll in. General forecast for Barbados for today: a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few brief isolated light showers. And into the evening period, expect much of the same. Clear to cloudy periods with a few brief scattered light showers. And that is today's morning report. Our next broadcast is Newsday at 12 noon here on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network of stations on 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. Morning Barbados is next.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Hey, good morning to you. Good to have you on Morning Barbados on this very special Monday. That's right, August 14th, 2023. I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here with you until just around 8 o'clock this morning. And we have a great show in store for you. Let me give you an idea of what you can expect coming up today. Of course, we're going to be telling you in association with the National Council on Substance Abuse all about a very special project. It's called Project Soft, the camp. So we have Makeda Bourne of the NCSA who will be here. Abiola Marshall, who's a parent of a camper who attended Project Soft, and Antoine Payne, former camper as well. They're going to talk to us all about what the experience was like and talk about its success as well, how the children learn to control everything from anger to drug use and everything else in between. Plus, we're talking about a very interesting children's gallery that's on at the Barbados Museum and Historical Society. We'll tell you more about that. Lots for the children to explore for the summer. And our cameras set out to explore that particular presentation or installment. And we're going to share that with you today as well. Plus, we are going to be talking this morning with Sean Clark, CEO and Chairman of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development, about the benefits of exercise and mental health. So again, good morning, Sean.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you. Good to have you with us once
It's good
again.
to be here again.
And I'm so happy that we're having these discussions. I think far too often we put them aside and we don't necessarily talk about all the ways that we can take care of ourselves. Exercise is one of those things that we hear a lot about, but the main excuse often is, oh, I just don't have enough time.
Yes.
But we find time for all types of other things. So let's talk about the many benefits of exercising and how that can play into helping us mentally.
Well, good morning again. I think last week I mentioned that your physical health can affect your mental health and vice versa. Your mental health can affect your physical health. Now, exercise is one of those things that can be used. Quite often when persons exercise, they think only of their physical health. They think in terms of the females of getting that physique or maintaining that physique. The guys look at building muscles and so on. We look at strength and endurance, but we very seldom look at what exercise can do to your mental health. And there are many benefits to exercising, to maintain good mental health. For example, when you exercise, it helps with your stress. It helps with anxiety. It takes care of depression. And there are other mental conditions that exercise can be of benefit to. Now, usually when you exercise, your brain releases what we call feel-good chemicals. For example, one of the terms are endorphins. And endorphins are chemicals that are produced or released produced by the nervous system that can help you deal with pain and stress. They are sent to the brain, and when you exercise, they give the perception, that there's no pain, and it helps to create well-being. So there are many, many benefits. There are many reasons why we should exercise. And yes, we have the excuse, so we don't have the time to do it. But for example, if you're working a desk job, if you're a receptionist, if you're a secretary or whatever, getting up from your desk probably every 15 or 20 minutes and taking a walk around the office, using the stairs as opposed to the elevator or the escalator. There are so many things that we can do to help with exercise.
I know people think that exercising means you have to kind of get up and get out, as you mentioned. I want to talk some more about what's happening in the office, because these days a lot of people are looking more ergonomics as well. So movement generally in the office, there are a lot more people with standing desks. I know one of the first persons I saw doing that was my own sister. She would never kind of sit and work. She would always stand and work. But I know from working in the radio stations, when they were rebuilt, all of the radio stations are set up for us to be able to either stand or sit and work. And I know that when you stand and work, it brings a different level of energy.
Yes.
So talk to us about that energy that you include in your workspace when you're on your feet or moving around, or not necessarily in the traditional sedentary role in sitting at a desk all day long and not moving.
Well, but when you're sitting at a desk, you're more relaxed. You're more comfortable. It has the potential of drifting off, of falling asleep. When you're standing, you're more active. You're working the entire body. It's similar to skipping or to running. So when you're standing, you're exercising, you're using all of the muscles within the body. That is advisable. Even if you're in a job sitting, you can still do things. You can sit and you can move your feet. You can sit and you can just swing from side to side. You can raise your hands. There's so many things that you can do in your space. You can get it from your desk. Some people might say it is crazy, but you can get it from your desk and you can do 10 jumping jacks, especially after lunch. Because after consuming a heavy lunch and you go back to your desk and you sit and you get consumed in your work for another 4 or 5 hours, then there's so much happening there. So we need to find the time to move.
Absolutely. Let's talk about how exercise can reduce stress and anxiety.
Well, when you exercise, and it only takes about 30 minutes per day to exercise. So when you exercise, you're concentrating so much on what you're doing that you tend to forget within that space of time what is happening. And as I mentioned before, those feel-good chemicals that are released into the body, it gives you a feeling of calm. It gives you a feeling that you are in some comfort zone. So it really helps with it. It helps as well with depression. It can also help with feeling lonely or being isolated, because when you're exercising, whether you do it in the gym or you go to the beach or you run on the road and you do it often enough, you meet people. You get to talk to people. So it helps with socialization. And when you're socializing, you're able to talk. So that in itself is therapy for helping you to reduce your stress level and the anxiety that you may face.
Do you know of any specific exercises that help relieve stress or anxiety that are better for your mental health, perhaps?
It all works, but I would want to suggest or to think cardio. Getting in that cardio or using very lightweight. So you're using lightweight so that you're not putting additional stress on the body. So you're using lightweight, but you're increasing your reps. So for example, if let's say you're accustomed lifting 80 pounds and doing 10 reps, you might decide that I'm going to do 40 pounds and do 20 reps. So you're getting in that exercise, you're working the muscles in the body, but you're not putting that additional stress on the body. So I'm thinking that cardio works, but a combination of cardio and weightlifting can really help you to reduce your stress level.
I know you started talking about people exercising for the guys maybe to get some muscles, for the ladies to maintain or get the type of physique they need, but that too can add to having good self-esteem when it comes to there being stress or feeling bad or depression or what have you about your image. So that can help to lift the self-image as well. So from that perspective is equally as important.
I agree 100% in terms of building your self-esteem. If I use myself as an example, I got out of control and I went all the way up to like 211 pounds.
Wow.
And although it did not massively impact my self-esteem, I still felt uncomfortable. I said to myself, Sean, you are in the business of giving lectures and presentations and so on. You're accustomed standing in front of people. So your marketability is not only in terms of your work, but it's how you look as well. And I decided then that I had to do something about it, and I went and I worked, and I am still working. And when you go into the gym and you start to see results, or some person says to you, oh, boy, you're looking good. Girl, I am seeing it. You cannot wait for the next morning to come to get back in the gym, because that builds your self-esteem and that gives you the motivation that is needed. So although you might say, I'm just going to build muscle or to work on my physique or so, indirectly, it is also helping you with your self-esteem.
It's true. For me, it comes down to clothes, not necessarily the compliments, but that's, if you're able to fit into something that you'd outgrown.
Yes.
I know that the way we couch it is the clothes get small, but when you're able to kind of fit back into something that you've gotten larger than the piece itself, it certainly feels good. That certainly is the case for me. What about the role of exercise in affecting cognitive function and brain health? I know a lot of people talk about having brain fog, and that can lend to some level of frustration as well.
Yes.
So I would imagine that exercise can help in that area too.
Yes, it helps with memory. It clears up the mind. So you will find that after you finish working out for half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, and you're leaving the gym, even your mind is relaxed and you start remembering things. So exercise works on the entire body, and it really helps you to be able then to cope with the challenges of life. It is like detoxing the mind and giving room then to be able to deal with challenges as they come. So imagine exercising every day for half an hour. Imagine exercising every day for 1 hour. And you're clearing your mind every day, and you're opening your mind to new possibilities, to new opportunities, creating that additional space getting back that memory. Well, I'm remembering things now that, wow, you know, I thought I forgot. So it is good, even at home, and you're cooking, you can do things. You know, you can walk. Don't say, Sean, come out of your bedroom and bring me 2 onions. You know, bring me the sweet pepper. Get up and walk to the fridge and get those things yourself.
Listen,
that's a form of exercise.
You know, I'm always, like, parents, we had this conversation this weekend, I can't share this, but, you know, parents, they kind of like, come here, and then you come, it's like, get me the remote. It's right here, like,
it's
if you
right
stretch,
there. Mm-hmm.
you know, the
Yes.
remote is right there. All right, so we're going to continue this discussion after the break. Share your comments. I know lots of you watch online. I have to say a special good morning to those of you who are always locked on as a part of the Morning Barbados WhatsApp group, the entire team. Good morning to you, and lots of people watch across the diaspora as well. So if you're watching from Facebook, share your comments, share your views. If you have questions, we'll share them with Sean as well as we continue to look at how impactful exercise can be in helping us to maintain good mental health and wellness. Coming up, we're going to continue this discussion. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
13 minutes now before 7 o'clock. Today we're looking at how exercise can impact your health generally, but mental health specifically. Sean Clark, CEO of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development, is here with us. He's also a counselor, and so he's sharing with us, some great ideas on what we can do. What I also know is the one thing that no one can hand to you is fitness. You have to work for it.
You have to work for it.
And when you work towards a goal and then you're able to accomplish it, like for example, maybe you know, mobility was a problem, you weren't able to move around a great deal, and then all of a sudden you can walk a further distance. Or you can walk or run a 5K or maybe even a 10K. Maybe you get to the place then as you elevate where you can run the Barbados Marathon, or you can swim or, cycle or what have you. It's a wonderful feeling to be able to get that sense of gratitude in being able to accomplish a goal.
Yes.
So exercise is one of those things that you most definitely can work toward as a goal.
It is. And if you're doing it for yourself, that in itself is a source of motivation. If you're exercising for someone else, I want to get small for her, I want to get small for him, I want to put on muscles because I think if I put on muscles, she would pay me some attention.
What's wrong with that, Sean?
Nothing is wrong with that, but eventually that motivation is going to go.
Okay.
Especially if you realize that you're doing these things and she's still not paying you any attention.
Muscles
He's
and
still
no
not
attention?
looking at and no attention. But if you decide, I am doing this for Sean, I am doing this for me, then the motivation remains there. Then, you put on, for me, I don't deal with the scale anymore because I think those things are created to impact your mental health in not such a positive way. Like I deal with clothes. So if the scale is telling me one thing, but then that shirt that I could not put on for the past 3 months, I can now put on that shirt and I have some room in that shirt. Then I know something is that I feel good.
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, because sometimes you can build muscle and you're a little heavier, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't losing fat. And I was fretting you when I was talking about what's wrong with that, doing it for other people, because I know personally that sometimes you will lose a big bunch of weight, and then in keeping with who we are as Bajans, they let you know how bad you look.
Yes.
Falling weight. Don't lose no more hair. What's going on? You look sick. You don't look good in your face, and all types of things. You know, they have all types of things to add. But put back on 2 pounds. Where you getting back so big? And so I mean, like, if you're doing it to please people, you never will.
You never will. It reminds me of the old man, the donkey, and the little boy. You know, that old man was never happy, could never make the right decision.
Yep.
You know, so if you're doing it for other people, and I quite agree with you, because when I started to lose weight, you know, my mom, you know, she's from the old school, and she said to me, "Oh, don't take off no more. You know, you're small enough. Where you want to get any smaller for?" You know, but then someday I walked in the kitchen and I was shirtless, and she said to me, "You putting back on the belly." But even that statement was a source of motivation for me.
Yep.
Because I said, "What? Nope, cannot happen." And I went to the gym every single evening that week. So even though some people say it as a negative comment, I turned that negative into a positive to work for me, to get the results that I need.
Yeah, I know how the old school parents do it. You know, they don't want you to get too small and this and that, and then other people tell you about, "Oh, don't get too big." So it definitely has to be for you.
Yes.
Because if you think about what other people would say, then you would forever be yo-yoing, which can be a problem as well. But then what about the flip side of that? You know, people who might be doing it, yes, for themselves, they want to lose some weight or what have you, but they're not necessarily seeing the results that they want to see. You know, how do you cope with things like that?
Well, just like your mental health, where you're trying things and you realize that things are not working. You know, I've been having this headache for the past 2 weeks, and I'm taking all kind of painkillers, but this headache ain't going nowhere. You know, you seek professional help. You call in the experts to help you deal with that situation. It is the same thing with exercise. You know, you're exercising, you're going in the gym, you're lifting weights, you're working on your body, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're doing cardio. But nothing is happening, I'm not losing any weight. Then you call in the experts. If you can afford it, you seek a personal trainer. If you're going to the gym, you can ask some person who is working out in the gym, you know, who has some experience, what am I doing wrong? What can I do right? You know, you go and Google is the world's dictionary now, everything is there. You know, you go and you Google and you try to find ways of doing it the right way. What we also must know is that losing weight and keeping that physique is like 10% exercise and 90% diet. So we have to look at what we eat, how often we eat, what we do. Are we going to stick to a breakfast and one big meal at lunch and then dinner? Or are we going to break that down into smaller portions? We're going to have a small breakfast, then we're going to have a little snack in between there, whether it be a strawberry and half of an orange, an apple, what have you. Then we're going to have our lunch, and then 2 or 3 hours after, we're going to have another snack, and then we're going to have our dinner. You know, and probably before you go to bed, you have a healthy snack, at least 3-4 hours before you go to bed. And you're finding that when you implement these things, then the weight starts to go off. And I'm talking not because I'm an expert, I'm talking from personal experience where that is concerned.
Yeah, I'm sure mom is not happy with that, because, you know, the Bajan moms like big meals. They like to see the plate packed, and they certainly love to see it come back empty. That's certainly the case with a lot of parents.
When she's packing, because sometimes she would prepare lunch for me, and when she's packing my lunch, I say, okay, today I'm going to take to her yam and probably baked fish. And I would say, that is enough. But I not use a big man, you work real hard. And as soon as you turn your back or you blink the eye, she eases in another piece of the yarn. But when you get to work and you see this big thing, you know, and the way how the mind works, especially if it tastes really nice as it always do, then you can't stop until the container is empty. So that's not doing you any favors. But if you deal with the smaller portions, then and you're finished, there's nothing else there to eat. So you have to be contented with that.
Absolutely. It's really important to kind of manage expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important in the whole scheme of things. I know there are a lot of get slim quick initiatives where people try to sell that to you,
Mm-hmm.
but that really does not work.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I too am speaking from experience. So you really have to manage your expectations, because it can add a lot of disappointment and take away from your general expectations and your mental well-being if you expect that you're going to wake up and in a single month then you drop 30-40 pounds, because that's not how it works, and it won't only affect you mentally, but it could affect you physically as well. So let's talk about managing expectations generally.
Yes. Some of the get or lose weight quick exercise or methods work, but the mistake that we make is that we believe that once it is gone, that's the end of the journey. We don't have to do anything else. We don't have to go to the gym anymore. We don't have to go running or walking anymore. You know, what you're not being told is when you lose that weight that quickly and you do not continue the routine, the regime, or you put that back on faster than
and you put on
more. So you have to keep at it. But your expectations cannot be too high. Your expectations, in some cases, cannot be too low. Because if you have high expectations, you can create what we call self-conflict or internal conflict. And this is conflict within yourself. You're not a conflict with anyone else. You are a conflict with self. If you expect, your expectations must be realistic. And you must know that it is a process. And this process, you will probably take longer to take it off than you put it on. And once you have your positive self-talk, and you say to yourself, this is a process, I'm in it for the long haul, there's no easy or quick fix to this, and you maintain what we call a realistic expectation, then things will happen.
Absolutely. I think this has really been a helpful discussion, particularly for people who might be in recovery. I know there are a lot of people who suffer through strokes and other physical problems that are as a result of having health challenges. And the easy thing would be to sit down and wallow and say, I can't do this, I can't walk. But I'm always very encouraged by people who have some type of challenge and they're making that effort. And here we are able to move around freely, and we don't take that opportunity. So remember, that old adage is absolutely true. You use it or you lose it.
Yes, very true. And the more often you say it to yourself, I can't, the body gets in that mood. And the body gets so relaxed that it takes a while for you to get out of that. So flip the script. Tell yourself positive things. You know what? I must, I can, I will.
I must, I can, I will. Yeah, I could see Kenny Griffith scowling at the TV right now. Yeah, I've been telling Kenny that I'm going to get myself back in the gym. I'm more of an outdoors person though, to be honest. I prefer the outdoors. I love long walks, and believe it or not, I love running too. I've not run in quite some time, but definitely some motivation to get back out there and get rid of some of the extra pounds. even though, Barbadians are very vocal about what they like, and it really freaks me out because half the people are like, oh, that's enough, no more, please. And then the
Yes.
others are like, oh, this is too much. You've put on too much. You need to get off some. So you really have to find that correct medium. Last words from you, generally on exercise and what it can do for us and why we should move forward with, you know, even just a few minutes every day to be able to get moving and certainly help in the area of mental health.
Well, it is not, or it should not be what Sean likes. It should not be what Sandra likes. It should be what you like. And that's most important. Even that in itself, it is the dealing or helping with your mental health. So once again, exercise is very important for your physical health. It is also very important for your mental health. If you want to reduce, you know, those feel-good chemicals within your body, if you want to feel good and relaxed about yourself, if you want to raise your self-esteem, you know, if you want to fit back in those clothes, if you want to clear your mind, if you want to be comfortable within your mind and within yourself, then you need to find the time to exercise. 30 minutes a day is all it takes. Again, if you're sitting at your desk, get up every 15, 20 minutes, take a walk around the office, do some jumping jacks, go to the restroom and do some jumping jacks or some squats or something. 5, 10 of them every 15 minutes cannot kill, but it can have a lasting impression and it can be very, very impactful on the body and the mind.
Sean, keep it up. Don't mind, Mom. Morning, Mom. Yeah, but keep it up. Keep on fitting in
I
those
can hear my
clothes.
phone ringing as soon as I get off set.
All right, so thank you. Some motivation for us for today. So hopefully we'll be able to get out soon. Doesn't have to be anything grandiose. And sometimes we make excuses. I need some outfits. You know, that's a motivator too. But just get on out. And it's a great way to kind of clear your mind, take in some fresh air, particularly if you're in the outdoors, and work on your mental health. Hey, we're going to take a break and come back with an update of the news. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
98.1's a one. It's more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day, we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners. And we're committed to working with our clients and advertisers to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve.
98.1, the one.
Celebrating 18 and still your #1 party station.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game with Dominoes and singing karaoke.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Just about 3 minutes now after 7 o'clock. Good to have you with us on this Monday morning. Time for an update of the news. Government will undertake a study to determine which occupations can go longer. But Minister of Labour, Social Security and Third Sector Colin Jordan says it has to be done carefully. He was at the time responding to a caller on last night's TV current affairs program, The People's Business, which was looking at NIS securing the future. The caller queried why the age of police becoming pensionable is longer than that for the Army. Minister Jordan says while there's control over the age for pension, there's none for retirement.
On the Friday that I made the ministerial statement, a gentleman said to us something very similar. As a matter of fact, he said he is not planning to retire at all. But what we had to remind is that we do not have a national retirement age. We have a pensionable age. And so a person is free to work for as long as a person believes that they can make that contribution or desires to make that contribution. So on the retirement side, There's no retirement age, but there's a pensionable age that recognizes that at some point, a former worker, needs to be provided for after contributing over the years to the building of the society. We have a declining population, a declining workforce, and that is the primary driver of the challenges that are ahead of us if we fail to act. So we have to recognize that, and we deal with the reality that poses to us. The second thing I want to say is that national insurance is about social security. It is about all of us coming together. This is the Bayesian way. This goes back to the Susu and the Mitten turn. It also informs how we deal with education, for example. Everybody pays taxes so that we can educate the nation's children. If you have enough money to send your children to university in Canada or England, you can go ahead, but your taxes help to support the education of those who don't have that luxury.
Okay.
We do the same thing with healthcare. And we just want to say all of us are in this together. All of us need to pay. All of us need to contribute. Employers, employees, self-employed, all of us need to be part of the solution. And the final thing, which is the third, so more than a couple, early action is always preferable. Early action. Let us not, as a people, decide to wait until we have to take, until the country has to take any drastic action. I appeal to all of us, let's recognize dealing with these matters early means that any potential pain is minimized.
Now, Chief Executive Officer of the scheme, Kim Tudor, says the revitalization of the fund is key. And one area they're looking to beef up is that of compliance.
We use all the measures at our disposal to go after defaulters. So we take it very seriously. We have stepped up our efforts in terms of compliance, because we know compliance is going to be very important in playing its role in the sustainability of the fund. So we have certainly stepped up our efforts. Since last year, we have done two consultancies. One was internal, where we got staff, the inspectors, and other persons who work in compliance to kind of review our processes and so forth and procedures to see how we can improve these processes and procedures in an attempt to ensure that that we are increasing our compliance. We also got an external consultant, and their reports are due anytime now. And together with these two reports, we will begin to enhance and increase and enlarge our compliance measures.
Ms. Tudor also revealed that they undertook two consultancies to deal with those employers who owe the NIS.
We have increased the requirements for clearance certificates. So you'll see that persons who have to buy land or sell land and we are holding a judgment on their properties, they require a clearance certificate. So you'll see more of that kind of compliance with clearance certificates. We have judgments. We have an entire legal department, and some of the work we also give to private lawyers, because we do go after employers, and we will put a charge on their property, and that charge comes into force, especially if they want to sell that property or mortgage that property or do any such thing. So we do pursue on a daily basis the legal remedies available to us with regard to compliance.
More young people will get a chance to participate in a program seeking to reduce the number of them gravitating towards delinquent behavior. This, as Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment Charles Griffith has revealed plans to expand the National Community Cultural Training Program. The initiative, which has already touched over 500 youth across 25 communities, aims to engage them in wholesome activities while bringing communities together. Over the weekend, participants got to display their talents in song, dance, dramatic presentations, and even stick licking during a cultural showcase at the Queen's Park Steel Sheds.
Are using satellite locations to ensure that persons in St. Lucie and persons in St. John who want to participate in cultural programs have an opportunity to do so. But I mentioned that this is breakfast because it is not a situation where we do a one-off and done. If there's a need for an advanced program, we will put measures in place to ensure that these youngsters go to the next stage. And for you parents who are here this evening to observe what is happening through our ministry, I want you to encourage your children or your wards to see this as a stepping stone for something that can be mushroomed into a money-making venture.
Minister Griffith confirmed the hope is to give performers other opportunities to be on stage through the staging of a concert this year and also during the National Independence Festival of Creative Arts, or NIFCA. It's also hoped that going forward, a number of community groups will be formed by participants. The Barbados Scouts at the recently concluded World Camp had an enjoyable experience despite having to overcome excessive heat, unfamiliar food, and other challenges. That was the assessment from Stephen Sobers, the contingent leader of the Barbadians who attended the 25th World Scouts Jamboree in South Korea. They returned to the islands last evening to family and friends at the Grantley Adams International Airport. Mr. Sobers told CBC News about the experience, noting the boys learned much from the exercise.
First 2 days were a bit challenging for the contingent because of the heat, and a number of the activities weren't organized as yet. What we found is the boys enjoyed the experience, and it worked out well for us because we trained with the contingent from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we were able to work together, attending activities and participating in what was able to be done at Jamboree.
Kim Bradshaw was among the parents who made up the welcoming committee at the airport.
It was, I won't say trying or challenging, a bit worrisome, but we knew before they left what to expect, especially with the heat. It's hot all over the world, but we did expect there to be some hot conditions down there. I prepared him, told him how to drink a lot of water, stay hydrated. He also took down the cooling gel and stuff for the sun, and they're from the tropics, so they managed well. They were true scouts in that form. We got a little more concerned, I guess, with the typhoon, but the plans were made for the evacuation early enough, and they were taken to another site. But all in all, glad to have them back, and I think they enjoyed themselves.
Chief Commissioner Trevor Jones says the boys adapted and overcame the hurdles they encountered, and generally they had fun.
I was in contact with the contingent on a daily basis, so from day one I was aware of what was going on, and I was making sure every day that our boys were enjoying themselves. As long as the contingent told me, yes, everybody's enjoying themselves, I was okay with what was going on, because that was the intention for them going there, to make full use of the opportunity and to enjoy themselves. And once they were doing that, everything else can play. These things happen at camps, and we're scouts. We are supposed to adapt, meet the challenges, and overcome. And they did that. So I am proud of them in that aspect.
Well, the next Scouts Jamboree is scheduled for Poland in 2027. And that's our update of news. Remember, our next newscast is 12 noon here on TV8, followed by The World at 1 on our radio network of stations, 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. Morning Barbados continues after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's summer vacation, and CBC TV8 says laugh a little. Your mid-mornings have now included some family-friendly, side-splitting series like The Partridge Family, Benson, and Designing Women. TV not to be missed this vacation. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on CBC TV8. CBC is celebrating 60 years of broadcasting in Barbados. A friend and helping hand in the community. CBC, connecting Barbadian communities. It's Match Day Live from the 246 with host Damian Best. Your all-access pass to the action happening in the BFA Premier League and beyond. Every last Monday of the month on
Good morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so welcome back. Now, Deshaun Howell, one of Barbados' budding football talents, has lost his battle with cancer. The 22-year-old, who was diagnosed with bone cancer, passed away just yesterday. His mother, Natasha Howell, was a guest on Morning Barbados, appealing for help in securing life-saving cancer treatment for him a little while ago. In 2016, Howell was the lone Barbadian selected to be a part of a 12-member team from the Caribbean to undergo training at the English Premier League under the Digital Kickstart program. Deshaun will always be remembered for scoring twice on his debut for Barbados in a comeback victory over Bermuda in 2017. Howell, who attended Bay Primary and St. Leonard's Boys, played for Pro Shotters and local Premier League club Notre Dame. May he rest in peace. And we most certainly expend our deepest condolences to all his relatives and friends, and will forever remember him for the contribution he made at the national and local level here in Barbados. We're going to take a break and come on back on Morning Barbados, where we'll tell you all about a very interesting camp that is changing how young people think generally. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's Match Day Live from the 246 with host Damian Best. Your all-access pass to the action happening in the BFA Premier League and beyond. Every last Monday of the month on CBC TV8. Kickoff time, 8:30 p.m. with analysis from our panel and highlights of the top performances. You can weigh in on the discussion via WhatsApp on 228-5562. It's Match Day Live from the 246. Don't you miss it.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 6...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so welcome back to today's presentation of Morning Barbados. I don't know if you have Monday morning blues, and some people say they don't, but I apparently have some today. Usually I'm all right on Monday mornings. I don't know. You know, if you sleep a little bit too much, you get a little lethargic, that kind of thing. That might be me today, or maybe I ate too much yesterday. Who knows? Full disclosure. All right, so let me welcome Makeda Bourne, who is Substance Abuse Prevention Officer with the NCSA. It's so good to see you, girl.
Thank you
I have
so
not
much.
seen you in so many years, Makeda.
It is true.
It's way too long.
Yes.
Make sure you come on back more.
I agree with you.
And
I
she's
just
brought
wanna say
along
good
some
morning.
beautiful people with us. I'm
Yes.
loving this dress here. I have to borrow it for my next outing.
Thank you.
Abiola Marshall, who is a parent of this beautiful young man, Antoine Payne. So you're a former camper, of course, and your mother's here with us. We're talking about Project Soft Camp or Project SOFT.
Yes, please.
Yes, so let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh yes, Project Safeguarding Our Future today. We are recognizing our 21st anniversary of this program. The camp is only the first component where the children are sleep in for 6 nights. And at that program, our aim is to teach young people life skills that will carry them through, not just when they're in secondary school, but throughout their life. And most of all, we aim to help parents and the children to transition from primary to secondary. And guess what? The program also sees it as very important that throughout the life cycle of the child in secondary school to help them as well, because we know when children move from the primary mentality to that of adolescence, a lot of the family members do not know how to work with the adolescents. So we try to work with the parents, which is another component of the program, to help the parents to build not just knowledge but skills and to prepare of what to look for in their adolescent. For instance, a lot of person might say my adolescent is clumsy. They're knocking over everything in the house. Or falling down. And we say, you know, you didn't see that. But a lot of persons don't know that young people grow at night. So they go to sleep 1 inch and get up something 1 to 2 inches in terms of any growth spurt that happened in the night. So that child go to sleep thinking I could reach here, and the brain thinks I can reach this far to reach my cup, and the next morning they go to reach the same distance, but it's an overreach because they have grown. Things like that persons need to know so they're not frustrated.
That's so scary. So my young people are growing at night?
Yes. So when you see them trying to squeeze through a space and you're like, wait, what's happening? You can't see, you can't fit through. No, they cannot comprehend it yet.
Okay.
So those are things we try to help parents and the families to understand. Simple things like that that can happen, have a whole rift in a family circle. So this is our 21st anniversary. We have impacted over 2,000 families across Barbados, and we are here to continue the work thanks to Corporate Barbados that has allowed us to be, I don't know if there are many programs that can brag that there are 21 years of successful implementation, and we are here to say that and to, you know, invite persons to come on board as well as to be a part of the program, whether volunteering, whether they want to be there in kind or financially. They can reach us at the National Council on Substance Abuse. And we have right here parents who have volunteered to come forward and the past camper to share their story. And I have not prepped them. I have not told them what to say. I will be hearing it for the first time, their feedback.
Well, you know you can't prep Beijing. That's the truth. Because you prep them and then they say what they really think and what they want to say. So, Abiola, thanks for coming in. Talk to me about how you heard about Project Soft.
Good morning. Thank
morning.
you for having me.
Of course.
My daughter, first thing, she's 30 years right now. She went to school.
3-0?
3-0.
Wow.
Yes. She went to school at Valley Prescott school, primary school. So when she did 11 plus, Auntie Aggie, she is what? The director, she is, right. She's a member of NCSA. And where I was working at the time in High Street, she would pass there and say hi, hello. But she met my daughter and she was like, you know, when she said 11 plus, we have something going on. And she invited, you know, her to do it. And it was really well. At first I was a bit scary because having her away for 6 days and then about this drug stuff and whatever. But when she went and she did it, it was very informative. She learned a lot of stuff. And it made me feel a little less scary for her to be going into secondary school, because, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there that, you know, a lot of kids exposed to that a lot of kids don't be exposed to. So that's my first meeting. And then Antoine, it was a little bit easier, you know, because I know a lot of it. And it was exciting for him to go as a boy, you know, and experience and know all the different drugs, what they can do, and prevention and everything like that. So
it's very, very important for them to know.
Very
yeah?
important.
And, you know, I've seen some videos stirring around recently, Makeda, with a young man who obviously smoked something, they were saying it, and it was almost like he turned into stone. He couldn't move. Somebody was trying to give him water to drink, and there were people standing around and laughing and filming him, you know, implying, oh, that was so good, look at this, he can't even drink water. And I was thinking, is this what we're doing now? So it's really important to be able to let young people be aware of what is out there, because sometimes what you think you might be taking or smoking is not what you might be getting.
You are absolutely correct. And the National Council on Substance Abuse, we are aware of things that young people are experimenting with. Not only young people, we have adults doing it as well. And it is important, as you said, we highlight and underscore that persons need to start making decisions for their health. We have too many persons who are being introduced to drugs, and our data show that family members and friends are the top 2 categories that introduce persons to drugs. So it means, therefore, that even when you are thinking about who you're going to associate yourself with and why you are associating yourself with these persons, you have to sit down and take a long look at your goals in life. And where does this person fit into my life based on where I see myself 5 years and 10 years from now? And this is exactly what we teach the young persons at Project Soft. It is important to stop. We are always going, and we need to stop and think about, who am I? What do I love about myself? What do I need to improve? And who can help me to get there where I need to be? And you can have fun and you can have a good life without drugs. And we see it daily, and we see it all around us. So it is important then that person also moves to the next level, that when they see persons that are in a state, to call for help, call the ambulance. It's not a joke. You know, we have statistics when you look overseas where persons are experimenting these drugs, and some persons go into coma, some die. But in Barbados, we think everything is a joke. We want to videotape, we want to put it up, we want to be laughing. No, it is a serious thing, and we can lose our young people to some of these things they're experimenting with.
All right, now Project Soft covered a number of things, a number of topics. I am told that it was everything. I know we mentioned drugs, but I'm told that you get an opportunity to talk about taking control of your anger. You look at effective communication, being a positive influencer. But we have Master Payne here, who was bragging before he came on air. Don't let the little shy face fool you. He was bragging about Wesley Hall, and then Ellerslie. I had to put that to rest, you know, because I know my good friend DJ Chili, he would love to hear that. Oh, Ellerslie is the best. Okay, whatever. But you were a part of Project Soft, so tell me all about, first of all, when Mommy told you you're going to Project Soft, you know, just between us, you and me, you know, what were you thinking?
At first, I was scared because never really been away from mom or dad that long. But some of my friends were going, and that made me feel a bit more calm. But when I first got there, I was a bit standoffish, a bit closed off, because obviously I don't really know anyone, and it was scary. So when she told me, I was saying, okay, gotta pack my stuff, gonna cry a little bit.
Did you cry?
I did cry.
Oh my goodness.
I ugly cried, not only cried, ugly cried. I cried in front of friends as well. When we got on the bus, I cried, I shaked, I said, I'm gonna miss you, don't forget me, they go only 6 days.
For 6 days? I mean, like, come on, the drama is real. 6 days?
6 days, felt like a lifetime.
Yeah, but tell me, once you got there and made some friends, I'm sure everything changed.
Everything changed. I actually still have some of their numbers. We still are in contact with some of them are in cadets with me as well. So I made long-lasting relationships.
That's wonderful. What are some of the most impactful things that you learned, things that really stayed with you from the camp?
The drug part of it. When I first heard I was going to Ellerslie, the first thing you hear of is Ellerslie is not one of the best schools to be at. That a lot of black men and drug users go to that school or are associated with the school. But when I got there, yes, I saw some of it, but I tried to make myself scarce to those side of things. Made positive relationships, stayed mostly with my teachers. People would say that's teacher's pet, but I gravitated towards the teachers and the children who were more quiet. Didn't really go with the ones that made a lot of noise and were always in trouble. So I would say adapted to school life.
Okay.
And it gave me a sense of awareness.
Yeah, the good thing is those elements are, well, if it's a good thing, if it's not a good thing, let me rewind. The thing is, those elements are found at every single school on the island. And it's wonderful that you had this guidance from home and obviously in other things that you've done, that you were able to kind of make those decisions to stay off to the side and observe people before you kind of delved in. Yeah. About the camp though, I want to hear about some of what you were taught. I saw that they talked about communication, beefing up your problem solving skills, making sure that you could take care of yourself when it came to anger management. Of course, the drug abuse and learning about drugs was a big part of it too, but all of the other stuff, how did that impact you?
Communication wise, I learned to use my words other than hands. At first I was really not a big fighter anyway, but the communication wise and conflict resolution, I learned more at school, but at Project Soft, they taught us that words can do a lot more than hands and weapons can. So when we had our little groups in camp and we would talk about problems going on, not only in schools but generally in the society, we would try to find solutions to them. We would talk about how we can better our country, how we can better ourselves as a people, and generally make life easier with talking instead of fighting and all the quarreling, and not only talking to say that you're talking, but talking to make change.
Speaking of change, thanks babe. Speaking of change, Mom, what are some of the changes that you see, if any, once you came out, apart from crying to go away for 6 days,
Not to go back home. You usually have that.
Yes, actually, when he went to camp and came back, he was excited to go because he met a lot of friends and he learned a lot. So it was really, really exciting. When I see him, he's told me about the different drugs, which a lot of them I didn't know. So it was very, very informative for him. He actually, at the time, won he was the best boy.
Yes,
yeah, he was the best boy for the camp. And I think it is something really, really good that they're doing for these kids, because in society, you see a lot of kids go down with drugs. You see a lot of them. A lot of them, like him, they learn, and they still do it. But somewhere along the line, they probably will get a little reality check and would come out of it, educate others about it. But for them, I really was glad that they went and they knew the difference in what to do and what not to do. If they see something, they know it. They can tell a friend, well, this is this, don't do it. So it was good that they went. They learned a lot of things like that. They were open. Like when they see something, they wouldn't be like surprised and what's that and stuff. So it was really, really good. I saw that, they were educated where
Good
that was
stuff.
concerned, yes.
Now, Makeda, almost more than 2 decades later, how's the NCSA feeling about what you've been able to accomplish?
We are absolutely excited, but still sad in a way. We are excited because we looked at the number of families we have impacted. And then we can look like at an Antoine who was very shy, and see now he's in cadets and doing so well, and he's out there with the pageant that you're doing, Mr. Executive, and I'm like, Antoine? The little shy Antoine. So those type of testimonies are encouraging for us at NCSA. In addition to that, we are also encouraged when persons who take a little longer to get on the track can find us back. Because we understand relapse. We understand that persons grow and mature at different stages. So while someone may get it during the 6 days at Project Solve, we understand 2 years later, they may need additional support, and they are part of the NCSA family, and we are excited to help them through the process. I like to say through the speed bumps of life. Do not apply to you, it's just a speed bump, and together we will get over it. So we are excited about that. But where we are sad is we would love to impact much more family. Many more families are out there that need this program, and we would love to be able to, if possible, impact, for instance, all 3,000 plus students who sat the 11 plus exam this year. That is our heart. But we only can do that with funding, because we do intense training. It's more of a qualitative program than quantitative, where we do intense sessions with the children, with the parents, and then we bring the family together. So you will understand there's a cost behind that. We do assessments. If there's need to refer them somewhere else for additional support. So the program is one that is very holistic and comprehensive. It is one that we would love to see expanded in the future. And we hope that from this interview that the phones at National Council on Substance Abuse is ringing off with sponsors saying, I want to be on board. In April, as part of our 21st anniversary, we did a special camp in April where Massey came on board and said, listen, we're going to partner and have this special camp for you in Easter where we targeted all males only. And Tisha, the males and the all girls camp, I believe in the mixture, we need all three, but that showed us that we need to get in there and have more of these type of camps where we bring the children away from the home and spend time with them, showing them, listen, you don't have to be a product of society that you're being labeled if negative, but you can be one that is different. It doesn't matter what home you come from. It does not matter your dress. It does not matter your school. We are ready to work with you based on your purpose in life. And I believe that all persons were created with a great purpose in the earth. And like Antoine said, that is our mission. Let's help you find your positive purpose and get you out there doing good for Barbados and the wider society.
You've been doing fantastic work for a really, really long time, Makeda. From the days when I was in school, when I was a school girl, I had to put that in there so that people wouldn't think we were around the same age. How long have you been with the NCSA now?
Wow. I've been with NCSA from the time I was like 14 years old. So I started off as a peer supporter and a role model. They had youth ambassadors, and I never left NCSA. A transition from being a youth ambassador, peer supporter, to being there as my social work intern. I did it at NCSA for the last semester, and I never left.
No, she has not answered my question, people.
Yes,
that's okay though.
Age.
That's okay. I want to thank you for coming in. Substance Abuse Prevention Officer now with the NCSA, Makeda Bourne, and also Abiola Marshall and Master Antoine Payne, who came in to share with us what the program was like. I'm happy to hear that it truly was positively impactful. Definitely. And you enjoyed it, and you've made lasting, lifelong friendships.
Yes, I did.
That's excellent. All right, thank you. Hey, we're going to take a break and come on back on Morning Barbados, where we're going to be taking a tour. How about that? When is the last time you went to the Barbados Historical Society and Museum? Well, we're going to take you there with a special installation just for kids. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're encouraging you to get the children to engage, interact, and explore all this summer holiday. And of course, the Barbados Museum and Historical Society, they're making that possible for this summer. They want the children to be able to explore and learn some wonderful things through an overflowing with contemporary and interactive display over at the Barbados Museum. It's featuring an exhibit that offers opportunities to engage young minds for the summer vacation. So children can engage their senses, their sights, touch, smell, and sound, and explore and learn as they interact with science, aerodynamics, and other exhibits. So Mornin Barbados was there to take a look, so check it out.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nadia Foster, and we're here at Jerris Booster Children's Gallery at the Barbados Museum and Historical Society, where it celebrates the importance of play and bringing learning to life. And to show me around, I'm joined by Kevin Farmer, the Deputy Director here at the museum. Kevin, the Children's Gallery is opening from today. What are people going to expect?
People are going to experience an exhibition like no other on island. It is completely interactive. You can touch everything. There's a nice use of modern technology as well as mechanized technology. Kids can learn here what a surgeon has to do, whether they're fixing a heart, removing a cataract, dealing with earwax, repairing a broken arm. They can get to touch our touchy boxes and figure out what are they feeling. They can get to smell particular things and decide, is that a smell that I know or is it a smell that I don't know? They can learn about the human body. They can explore the ideas of how we see things differently, whether normally through magnification or see it how a fly sees it with a couple thousand lenses. At the same time, kids can build stuff, see how it works. They can play with gears and manipulate gears to actually see how things work. They can build particular items out of paper. We have a kind of a wind tunnel, and they can play with that and see if they actually can fly. And then, of course, they can learn also about the chattel house, how it's constructed, where it began. They can actually cut out and design their own chattel house based on what we have here. So these are but some of the things that they can come and explore at Explore.
Yeah. What does this particular one do?
Okay, this teaches you in a way what a doctor might do, a surgeon might do, in this instance about a heart transplant. So you touch your interactive, it asks you a series of questions that you then have to answer, and depending on it tells you what you've got right or what you've got wrong. Oops, you've made a mistake. 5 out of 6. Change your correct answer. So of course you need to remember what it is you answered. So you've gotten all correct, and it then brings up the human body. So choose your tools and equipment. Not that, definitely those that will aid you in actually performing heart surgery. and then it asks you to let's start the operation. Yep. Brilliant. And then, excellent. Scalpel, and it guides you what you're supposed to do. Now come back out and go again. Left to right or right to left. Try it one more time. So you remove it.
And
Don't
replace
hurt.
it.
Replace it. Replace again. There you go. Remove the sterling spreaders. And now you've got to sew them up. And unfortunately, you ran out of time, the patient died. But guess what? You can play it again.
Well, what I didn't tell you is that we got a sneak peek of this a couple of days ago.
Okay.
I came here with some of my colleagues. And of course, Joel chose the heart transplant, the hardest one.
There you go.
I must say, the patient lived.
The patient lived, okay,
yeah.
that's good.
And we are surgeons now.
You're surgeons now,
Yeah.
see, there you go. So here you can put your hand in. Can you guess what's in here? By feel. So that deals with, tactile learning. And also here as well. And if you don't know, you can actually just peek inside to see what it is. But you don't peek first. You try to guess first. And then from there, you can go over to magnifying material. So we can look. We look at various items under magnification. There's some stuff here on slides that you can also look under magnification. You might even have a 25 cents in your pocket, and you can look at that under magnification. You can see how a fly sees. A fly has 4,000 lenses in its eye, so you can look through here, anywhere around the gallery, and see the multiple images that a fly would see. And of course, kids like to dress up. And here, first, put on a hairnet, put that on, put on a helmet, and decide what career or guess the career of the particular headdress. But the important thing is, in the time of COVID, we're doing time tours. So persons can call the museum, book a time tour. After that tour is completed, our staff will come through, sanitize the area, and then we'll have the other time tour after that. So one doesn't have to worry. We are following all the COVID protocols, ensuring not only safe distancing, but ensuring that the touch surfaces are cleaned after each visit. So here we're talking about how you listen, how pitch and tone is created. And of course, what better way to do that than using the only instrument created in the 20th century in the Caribbean, in Trinidad, but the steel pan. But also, everyone remembers tuning forks. You can actually see how the tuning fork works on oscilloscope. So you got your tuning fork and you hit it on a particular material. You can see how the waves will change. Teaching you about pitch and timbre and how sound waves actually can be seen using an instrument. Now, for those who might be interested in construction, we might ask you to build something. And you decide how you want to build it. And then, of course, if you're a really good builder, then it should stand up to minor tremors or an earthquake. And this is where you test it. So it starts off slowly, and then it increases in movement. So far, my steeple is holding on to the foundation on which it has been built. And that's also because I only built it at one level. But the building is coming apart. But there you go. So teaching kids how to build stuff. Over here you can actually cut out and create a chattel house. You get to customize your chattel house as well. I even talk about how the chattel house came to be. Where does the word chattel come from? How old is it? And that's extremely important. Now, we all talk about renewables and recyclables, but do we understand how much energy it might take to power a single object? So here we've got a recumbent bicycle as well as a hand crank that you can use to power these various exhibitions. And of course here, if you've got any budding aeronautical engineers, you learn how to cut out certain things and see if they will fly using our wind tunnel. And who doesn't like gears? And here you can put gears in various formations and actually see how they work. And here we take a look at renewable energy. So we keep talking about it, but the children actually know how renewable energy is actually produced. So for this one, using these discs, they get to place it where they think wind power might be, where solar energy would be, and then they test it, and if everything is correct, it will light up totally green, and we know that they understand the concept of what renewable energy is. How does the exhibit cater to children with different abilities? In multiple ways. You might have those children whose learning is done kinesthetically, which means that they have to actually physically touch in order to learn something. That's possible here. Depending on the severity of the learning style or learning ability, we actually can have sit-down classes with the teachers to decide which of the exhibitions they will focus on when they come and visit. So we can actually offer a bespoke educational tour for children with learning disabilities. That's why we have an education officer on staff. So I would always say for kids with learning disabilities, please call the museum at 538-0201. Ask to speak to Ms. Kay Hall, who's our education officer. And in doing so, we can begin to tailor those particular exhibits towards the child's learning ability.
I think that the exhibit is a fun place to learn and to have fun. It has lots of nice toys and things to mess around with. My favorite was the magnet chain reaction. This one is my favorite because it has cool things to mess around with and different ways to make everything spin around. It's exciting because they're different parts and they make everything work. One piece can make a whole chain reaction go all around the board, like this one here. All two of them work fine.
This one is my favorite because it requires two people to power up each thing. And on the TV, it shows what each item does once it glows up. Another reason I like it is because it can sometimes require one person.
And I like to cut up paper. I make a house. The dressing up is my favorite because it's fun to do.
I like this ride because
It's like exercising, and like you're able to power up things like computers, radios, fans, drills, lights, ovens, stoves.
How can people come and explore it? Simply come to the museum. The museum is open 9 to 5 Monday to Saturday, especially during this time of COVID. We're in fact offering a summer special, so there are special rates for individuals and families. We're offering a summer passport where persons can purchase a ticket and be able to visit the museum multiple times over a 2-week span.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, so last week on Morning Barbados, we had a great time learning about the steel pan and, of course, having someone here to play the steel pan for us as we celebrated World Steel Pan Day, the very first one. Well, steel pan was being celebrated the world over. Let's take a look now at how it was celebrated in Times Square in the U.S. Oh, what a great time they had with Steel Pan in Times Square. And of course, it was celebrated all across the world. I can just imagine what a grand time they had in TNT, because we enjoyed it most certainly here in Barbados. Well, that's it from us for today. We're inviting you to come on back tomorrow, where we'll be having conversations on CARICOM and a whole lot more. There's a lot going on with CARICOM that we have to work through with the ambassador. So make sure you come on back for that tomorrow. Also, as you go through your day today, remember to wear your smile. Don't forget what we told you about the importance of exercise and how it can add to making you feel a whole lot better. So consider that for today. I'm going to tell you how my journey is shaping up as well. Remember to wear your smiles as you go through your day today, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for another presentation. Have a great one. Bye-bye.